Good evening, everyone. Welcome to DOdaily. Thursday Thoughts. Des here. Ready to answer your questions in the live weekly episode of DOdaily. Really looking forward to getting stuck in today. I don't actually know what's coming. I've not seen any of the questions. Kay's put it together for me. So, as ever, I'll try to be honest, relatable, realistic with my responses. Try and say it as I see it from the heart. Just trying to be a useful source of information and perhaps a different perspective. Of course, that's what it's all about on a Thursday. It's a free hit almost for people to get involved, ask me questions, pick my brains, see which way I'm thinking. It's been a couple of days since I checked in live. Of course, yesterday I managed to get one of those Project Part 1 PB vlogs out. That was really enjoyable putting together, really enjoyable taking part last Saturday at a different location. So do check that out. Check out yesterday's episode. They're always really, they go down really well, the vlogs. So that was really nice getting that together. And it just frees me up a little bit on a Wednesday. So again, it's a great opportunity to come back on after Tuesday's episode, which I thought I kind of made my point about traveling and being sort of using it to my advantage after sort of a busy period. It's still particularly busy. Everything's got all on, as Kay tends to say. So really sort of looking forward to the wedding. 9 days now, 8 full days between now and then. So we've got a lot to get in, but of course I'm still feeling absolutely fantastic from that run. I've not done too much activity since. I'd love to be getting it in, but I've not managed to do that. But again, just feeling good about what I'm doing and feeling really, really positive. Always like to start off on a Thursday by checking in. Of course, the Thursday episode gives you a chance to get involved in the show. Scrolling across the bottom and just here, you will see all the social media links for DOdaily. Please give them a follow. If you feel like you'd like to comment on anything that I'm talking about, please add a comment. I'd love to interact. I'll read as many of those out as I can. But like I say, if you can follow the social media, get behind that, that'd be absolutely fantastic. And of course, this side, if you can subscribe to the channel, that'll be amazing too. This episode alone, if you could give it a thumbs up, that'd be absolutely brilliant, and I'd really, really appreciate that. Just show a little bit of support for the channel. And please, one of the things that has put me in good spirits this week, pleased to announce that I've hit 700 subscribers. That was been a little time coming, but I'm not complaining. It's been amazing this year, the amount of followers. I set myself a little target at the start of the year to achieve 500. I said it was a bit out there, a bit unrealistic. It took me 2 years to get nearly 200. And already I've picked up 500 this year, 500 extra ones, not just the 300 I needed to make it up to 500. So really, really pleased about that. As ever, thank you to everybody who's supporting the channel. It's absolutely amazing. Starting something like this, you don't really sort of know what to expect. I've said it many times, there's people who support me where I never expected that to come from. There's people who don't support me who I probably expected a little bit more from. But I'm not complaining. The people who do tune in, the people who get involved, the people who continue to hit that thumbs up button, continue to subscribe and get behind all these social media channels. All I can do is work off those positives. And that's all I'm ever doing on DOdaily, isn't it? Working off the positives of how we can sort of encourage each other, inspire each other and stay motivated to do the things we want to do. Of course, where possible, I look to encourage activity. And whilst I'm not on my A game at the minute, I'm the first to hold my hands up and say that I have been involved. Of course, the running clubs through the week. This evening, I've just done a coaching session. The guys were absolutely amazing. Good few out as well. The full group. It was great to see for one reason or another over the summer holidays. There's been 1 or 2 missing, and it just means we have to alter our plans and do different things. But tonight, absolutely brilliant. They got out there and absolutely smashed it. 1 or 2 was a bit frustrated, but I was just sort of saying to them, the consistency is key. And again, it's a message to myself as much as anything as well. Once I get that consistency back, once things settle down, I'm hoping to really sort of kick on. Spoken the last couple of weeks about how I want to use the wedding itself, just to settle a few situations down, get back to my routines and create a new routine. Whilst that's not expected of me, I keep maintaining this point. Kay's not asking me to change, and the fact that people do tend to change a little bit. It's not really down to wanting to mature or anything. It's just wanting to take the pace off and do the things I want to do a little bit better, make more time for me and Kay. Again, that's really important. We spend a lot of time doing things together, which is fantastic. But again, it's important to just sort of take that to another notch as well and just slow down. Don't get me wrong, I'll still be involved in all the things I'm involved in. The running groups, the charity events, my own personal running, lots of other things that keep me sort of in good spirits on top of things and really sort of loving what I do. And I just plan to sort of take that forward, but just sort of calm it a little bit from... Don't get me wrong, some of the other things I do bring on a hectic social life, the running groups and the football and everything, So I'm just trying to fit it all in nicely and really sort of really take the pace out of it, so I get that enough rest and enough sort of time in between one thing and another. The one thing I've been a little bit guilty of over the last year or so, over the last God knows how long, to be honest, is doing quite a lot and perhaps not putting myself first. And I've mentioned lots of times how important it is for that. That's an interesting comment there. Somebody's probably having a bit of fun there. DOdaily fan. Hi. Ian's commenting, we had another great training session tonight, but Richmond Road is a beast of a hill. Took him to one of the toughest sessions you can get, but it is what it is. I said to the guys, they sign up for these tough coaching sessions, this boot camp type session I put on. It's all supposed to, whilst it's to get people fitter and train them for big events, it's all also to try and get them sort of mentally strong and reaching out and hitting targets. Again, an extension of what I do here and some of the improvements I try to make, and that's all I'm ever trying to do. I try and sort of fit everything in so it works for us all and having a big group, whilst everybody's smashing it to their capabilities, it's really inclusive and enjoyable as well. So thanks for the comments, Ian. Another comment here from Paul, somebody who I know tunes in quite a lot. Congrats on the 700 subs, Des. Well done, mate. You deserve it. But what are you doing at the same time as Dor and Trent Rockets on the TV? I don't know where to be. Absolutely. I'll be honest, I was a little bit guilty again, Paul, this evening of getting bogged down in the Trent Rockets and getting caught up in that. But, of course, duty calls here. I've done it now every day for 2.5 years, so I'm not going to miss it now. Hopefully I can get back and catch the last little bit, but we'll see how the show goes from here on in. As ever, the format on Thursday is the throwback from last week, a chance I gave everybody to get involved, leave a few comments, let me know what they thought and what I asked, the questions, and then there'll be another throwback at the end before kind of summarising and then looking forward to the weekend. So get into that throwback. Of course, all I ask people to do is drop a comment, just a very easy way to support the channel, to get involved, and potentially just to sort of for some inspiration to rub off on each other. Last week's throwback question: do you prefer to tackle a challenge or enjoying something you're capable of? I'm always talking on DOdaily about getting out of your comfort zone, but there's a time and a place, I guess, and this all come off the back of a question about what type of running I prefer. So, but for me personally, I love getting out of my comfort zone. Going back to those guys earlier, putting them right out of the comfort zone. Some of them, again, like I mentioned, haven't been able, for whatever reason, injury, through commitments, to get there every week, and taking them back to a really tough session like that is really pushing them out their comfort zone. Hopefully afterwards, the result of that is they'll feel fantastic for it. I always say, when they're puffing and panting at the end of the session, give it an hour and you'll feel absolutely amazing. Kay commented saying, I like a bit of both. I love the feeling of completing something challenging, but sometimes the comfort of doing something, is nice. Of course it is. Sometimes we want to do things with confidence, don't we? And whilst we keep pushing out a comfort zone, it's great to keep pushing the boundaries and setting yourself new targets and limits. But it's also great to know that you're fully capable of something and be confident that you can do it well. So I totally get what Kate's saying there. Jane says, I'm a thrill seeker, so it's a challenge every time for me. If I've tackled something once, I like to be on to the next thing. Again, it's exactly what I'm saying, isn't it? I'm always pushing myself. I didn't think I'd talk on DOdaily. I didn't think I'd do any public talking whatsoever, but now I talk on different YouTube channels. I talk about things I know about more than what I know about here. So that's quite nice. That's again me balancing it up. I talk a lot about football on other channels, and I feel I can do that a little bit more confidently than I do here. But that doesn't stop me, because I still want to improve. And the YouTube channel itself is kind of an example of that, isn't it? I mentioned the 700 subscribers. Where does it all end? Because the next mini target is 800, then you've got 900. I want to get to 1,000 because then I can do several other things on the channel. So I'm always sort of encouraging that. But again, it's just sort of pushing yourself all the time to try and find different ways and try to be a little bit better at what you're doing. Ian commenting, Dawn here, my phone has died. I used to enjoy being in my comfort zone, but since signing up to the DOdaily coaching sessions, I love tackling the new challenge. Absolutely. And that's kind of what I'm trying to do there, pushing people. It's not easy. It's not all happy clappy and patting each other on the back. It's tough sessions that people can get involved in. But again, it doesn't matter what ability people are starting from, as long as they're prepared to put it in. If anybody is interested in that, by the way, please get in touch. I can explain a little bit more about it. Essentially, it's a boot camp type running session. It's really tough sessions that you perhaps wouldn't do on your own. Anybody sort of local to Nottingham who wants to take part in a group, really, really cheap, or some one-to-one stuff, I'm quite open to that as well. Please do get in touch and I'll discuss it with you. But again, it's just an extension of what I'm doing here in terms of just trying to find little ways to be a little bit more positive, committed, consistent, and work off those routines. Simon says, I enjoy building on something I know I'm capable of. That doesn't seem too daunting. Well, absolutely, isn't it? And I guess that's what we're doing all the time in life. We're just putting the foundations into, I've said it a lot recently, everything we do, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, it's all an experience, isn't it? It's all an experience to take into the next situation, the next thing. I talk these days about when I'm not feeling so good. Of course, I say a lot of the time I feel fantastic, and I have been, because I found a way to sort of program my mind to turn in a negative into a positive. So if I can build off a negative situation, take out the bits that didn't work and do it better next time, then it's fantastic in sort of getting to a place I want to be. And that's almost what Simon's saying there. Thanks for those responses. Brilliant. That's all I really look for. It'd be great to get people commenting on that. You can comment throughout the show on anything that's said there, on any of the questions coming up, and of course on any of the social media just here. And please, just a quick reminder, please do subscribe and give a thumbs up to this episode. Do it right now. It just takes 2 seconds, but it helps the channel massively. I'm getting to these questions, really, like I say, not sure what's coming. So hopefully not been put on the spot too much, but as ever, I'll just try and be really, really honest. Again, if you've got any comments to make about anything, please do. I'd love to sort of read them out and get some feedback along the way. If you've got any further questions, I'll be quite happy to answer those after whatever's here. But again, if you're watching after the live show, there's always an opportunity to comment, to send me a message, and there'll be further details of how to get in touch later. So question 1, the crux of Thursday. Really enjoyed the part 1 vlog yesterday. What would you describe as your perfect part 1 route? This is from Sam. Well, before I get sort of stuck into the question, I really enjoyed that particular park run. Went out on Saturday, was on my way to football with Ian, who's already commented on tonight's show. We was always going to do a park run. I was always planning to vlog it, but we didn't quite know where. We was just sort of working off the clock as much as anything. Fortunately, these days, park runs are everywhere. So we found ourselves on the M6 at 8:30, and the nearest one available was Northwich, not a place I'd even imagine of going, just south of Warrington, east of Cheshire, just west of the M6. So in that little triangle just off the Wirral. So didn't really expect to be going there. We had looked at one perhaps a little bit further down the line, but we got there, and it was a classic park run. It was a country park. It was built on a salt mine. Absolutely loved it. There was a tricky hill. There was a loop on it. There was a double back. There was trails. So that was almost not far off a classic park run for me. In terms of this question, what would you describe as your perfect park run route? I do like the trails, I must admit, particularly in the winter, particularly when it's drizzly. Don't like it too muddy. My favourite is actually Collick Park. It's not too far away from where I live, just a mile away. Done it more than any. Really got me into park run, but it does get a little bit boggy in the winter. And it's hard then, it's fun for a couple of weeks. I like getting out in the mud and traipsing through it and getting my legs caked up and those kind of things. But after a few weeks, it gets really tough. And perhaps you have to look at it. It starts to sap motivation. Don't get me wrong, it's never too long before I'm back there. And when it dries up, it's absolutely fantastic again. But for me, it's probably trail runs through the trees. Somewhere nice, somewhere different, like what I saw on Saturday. Again, just a plug for the vlog. Check it out for yourself. Me and Ian was musing out how much we was enjoying it, how stunning it was. There's one or two around that area that are supposed to be equally as nice. But for me, it's just getting out on the trails for part one. I like the variation as much as anything. Just something a little bit different. You get the really fast ones where they're pavements and they're in loops and things like that, or they're in out and back, and they can be really quick. Or just those where you just go and have to churn one out. I like a bit of everything. A hill, just one is ideal. When you do these free lappers and they've got hills in, or Sheffield, and they've got all the hills in, they can get a bit tough. But a hill, a bit of trail, bit of a sprint finish, all these kind of things that make it really. Don't actually mind running on grass now. I suppose that's a little bit down to my injury. It used to be my worst thing to run on. I used to not particularly like it, but now I enjoy getting out there and using the grass. It's a bit softer underfoot, and when you are carrying a few knocks, as I have been for quite a while, it's really sort of, it's a little bit easier after, and then you start to appreciate what you've done. So yeah, just something with a little bit of everything, a bit like what I had on Saturday. That's probably why we was so over the moon that we plucked that one out of fresh air. A hill, a double back, you get to wave to people, talk to people, and just a really friendly place. It wasn't huge, it wasn't a particularly sort of well attended part one, but there was enough people there to make it as equally as enjoyable as normal. Ian was back in again, just sort of backing up my point. Northwich was a great park run. Definitely want to go back to. Definitely agree with that as well. So really looking forward to it. But thanks for the question, Sam. Always enjoy discussing park run. One of my favourite activities. It's all part of my match day routine. Saturdays, if I can do park run, get my breakfast and catch up with the guys from there, and then head off and meet the other guys, get to the football. It makes for a great Saturday. So we're really, really looking forward to that in the coming weeks as well. Definitely now the football season's back. Question 2, do you dread the dark nights drawing in, or do you look forward to everything winter brings? And this is from Shelley. I don't dread them drawing in. Of course, it's nice when the nights are when the night kicks in quite late in the day. For running, it's nice to be out in the daylight. You know, I always talk about the blue skies and sort of taking the most of being outside in the fresh air and nature. Of course, a lot of what I do through DOdaily is easier in the daylight. You know, you'll see me occasionally, or quite often sometimes, roaming around the River Trent, and it's almost pitch black. Thankfully for you guys, you can barely see my face. But no, seriously, the things I tend to enjoy, the running, doing the vlogging, you know, it tends to be easier. Of course, Friday mornings get a little bit tough in the winter. It gets really difficult to do my wake up to walk and fit everything in before attacking the day. Still try to make it happen, still ensure I get out there for a bit of a walk. It's something I really love doing, but things get a little bit tricky. But whilst it's useful in that sense, I don't dread it. You know, I also don't mind going out for a run in the dark. I'm not necessarily encouraging it because I know some people won't be too keen, and obviously it brings its own sort of dangers and difficulties. But for me personally, you know, I quite like getting out there and on the slightly cooler nights as the autumn sets in, you know, and getting out and starting to feel it. It never feels easy, and it don't necessarily feel easier, but like the sort of getting the fresh air and the wind and the rain in your face sometimes just helps you get through it. It's all relative in the end because you tend to put in what you can. But in terms of activity, you know, I don't mind it in that sense. What I do look forward to, you know, particularly after busy summers like what I've had and what's still to come, probably look forward to a bit of time to settle down in the evening. I've spoke about it already in another sense about sort of taking the pace off just that little bit. So I'll be looking forward. It tends to happen a bit more in the winter, doesn't it? We tend to stay in rather than try and drag ourselves up and go and do something different. The lull of the pub or a barbecue or go down to the river, you know, it's not quite there, is it? And we miss it. Don't get me wrong, I miss it, and I definitely try and get out during the days. You know, of course, it's difficult sometimes because if you work a conventional day, you can just about miss out on all the daylight. So I'll try and get out some point. Fortunately, the way my work pattern works, I get to get out in the afternoons, and I make it work for me in that sense. So I think the short of this is I don't really dread it, but there's definitely benefits when the days are longer, you know, and really enjoy it. One thing I do enjoy, you know, in the winter, and we've done it a couple of times, not that much. Me and Kay have gone for a walk. She's not a massive walker herself, but we tend to go out on cold days, wrapped up, and find a nice place to walk, and then we come back and have a big pot of stew. And it's just these little things, isn't it, that keep us ticking over. Finding a positive again, finding a positive from such a small, simple thing, and that's all it's about. It's just ticking over because it doesn't change. You know, it doesn't change us. It doesn't change a thing really. We can still just about do everything we want. So again, there's pros and cons, isn't there? But probably prefer it when it's lighter for some of the things I get to do. You know, and of course, trying to inspire and motivate people to run through running groups tends to be that little bit easier in the summer. Although, again, some holidays and things like that get involved. So it's 6 and 2 3s most of the time, but it's an interesting discussion point. And of course, as the winter sort of draws in, over the last couple of years, I've tended to speak about staying safe, particularly around activity, and I'm sure that will come in the coming weeks. And question 3, this is from Kay herself. I thought this one might creep in. I heard her talking about it earlier. Today is actually Nottinghamshire Day. So what's your favourite thing about Nottinghamshire? I don't think I've got a single favourite thing. I think I'm quite proud of where I'm from. You know, a lot of the things I do tend to be based around where I live. I love where I live. It feels like I'm right in the heart of everything about what's good about Nottingham. The sporting square mile I live within, you know, is absolutely amazing. World-class venues, the City Ground, Meadow Lane Stadium, Racecourse, the cricket ground. Of course, I love all those things. I love going to watch sport. I've got plenty of places to go and meet friends in terms of pubs and things like that. You know, and again, it's just about being somewhere you're comfortable, isn't it? And I absolutely love Nott. So over the last couple of years, do check out some of the walking playlists. I've discovered not so much more than what I knew. I've walked the Robin Hood Way, 112 miles. I'm looking to get back to my challenge for this year, and I will. It's coming, but I'm halfway through a 60-mile route around Nottingham, sort of the extended city of Nottingham. So really, really enjoying that. And again, you just see so much more of where you live, and it makes you realise how amazing it is. Of course, I like traveling. One of my points earlier in the week was about traveling and doing things on your own and taking something from that. But when I get out on my own on a Friday morning, especially, and I'm exploring Notts, it's absolutely brilliant. One of the reasons, probably my favourite thing about it is, of course, it goes without saying, it's probably the football team as much as anything. Supporting Forest, living sort of less than 400 yards from the ground, just the width of a river. That's amazing. That just makes me feel like I'm part of it. Whether I actually am or not is another thing. But it's about the way you feel, isn't it? And it's just amazing to live in this place. And all things Nottingham kind of centre around the sport to me. Some people might think I'm talking rubbish, but the reality is there's lots of connections, and Nottingham's a real sporting city. So somebody who's into it like that, I suppose, as well as the football, it's the fact that the city is really full of sport and opportunities to watch it and get involved and really enjoy it. So yeah, I think that's the thing that does it for me. Like I say, really proud of where I'm from. I've never lived anywhere else. I've lived a lot of places in Nottingham, so I've had a chance to sort of see it from a different perspective at different times. But again, to me, it's the best city in the world. A little bit cheesy. It's a phrase that a Nottingham radio station used a couple of years ago, but for me, it definitely is the best place. And of course, like the events I do as well. I've got it on today. The Robin Hood half marathon events. It reminded me there because Tiger Spreadsheet Solution says, "All right, Des, signed up for Robin Hood this week. Training has started." Absolutely. It's come in. It's one of my favourite things, and of course, is the Robin Hood itself. It was my first large event. I'm running around the streets of Nottingham. The empty streets on a Sunday morning felt amazing, and it's been kind of centred to a lot of the things I've done in terms of meeting Kay, the proposal last year. This year probably won't live up to last year because I don't think I can outdo it. But again, it's such a big event, and for me, as somebody who enjoys running and wants to encourage people to take part in something, Robin Hood is a huge event. Here in just close to where we live, in the bar that we do the running club from, we have a huge party afterwards, and really look forward to it. So looking forward to that. And again, on Nottinghamshire Day, it's just worth mentioning. Tiger says, "Can't wait for the preview show, Des, if you have time to do one." Absolutely. I'm sure I'll be doing something in the build up to that. Again, talking about the things I enjoy, definitely looking forward to it. So it's a great occasion. Last year I was really, really busy. I did a vlog. Check it out, actually. Tiger, I did a vlog in terms of walking the route through and stopping off at certain points and explaining. I think it's actually my most viewed video. So great response to that. The guys at Robin Hood loved it themselves. They used it, they shared it, they thought it was brilliant. So do check that one out. I'll perhaps post it up on the links if you can. It'd be brilliant to watch it. Just a comment coming in here. Kay saying, "I can think of something that will match last year." No chance. She wants a dog, but there you go. Let's get a wedding out of the way first. Tiger says, "Great vlogs, and the route walkthrough was incredible. Absolute top effort." A lot went into that, so you have seen it, but a lot went into that. It was tough. That it was a long day. It was a long day, and trying to get it right. Again, I think I've probably got a little bit better since then. So perhaps, you never know, I might do something not too dissimilar beforehand. Eve's saying hello Eve, hope you're well. And then she asked, "Are you going to the game against Fulham 3 weeks tomorrow?" Absolutely. I'll be at the game, and again, enjoying my most favourite thing, Nottingham. Really, really looking forward to that. And also, Tiger says, I can only imagine how long that took. Honestly, that vlog, if you do go and watch it or watch it again, I really, really appreciate it, because every view is worth it, because it was such a long drawn out process. But thanks again for the comments on that. And thanks for the inspiration to do something. If people are enjoying things like that, I'm always welcome to that kind of feedback. If people want to see something, want to inspire me, that's definitely done it. That's definitely made me start thinking now, what can I do before Robin Hood, and that's brilliant. Really, really sort of, well, it's given me an idea. It's given me an idea. So watch this space. So thanks for that, Tiger. Really appreciate you watching as ever. Eve made a comment there about meeting up before the game to say hello. Of course I will. Just drop me a tweet or something on social media and I'll happily come and say hello. So thanks for that, Eve. It's always a pleasure when you come to the game. And it's nice that people watch DOdaily who I get the opportunity to meet as well. So really sort of enjoy that side of it. That's all I'm trying to do here, is bring people together through different things, through different ideas, just trying to be a decent person, I guess, just trying to be encouraging and supportive of what other people are doing in how it relates to what I'm doing. Of course, if I can find a way to sort of stretch that out and support, that's absolutely fantastic. This guy's on Mr. Daw on tour. Of course, I do a lot of work with him on the football side of things. Great stream, Des. Cheers, Daw. Thanks for the support as ever. And another comment from Tiger. Look forward to it, Des. Thanks for the content. Thanks for watching. Really sort of appreciate all the guys tuning in. It's not the biggest YouTube channel in the world, this, but I am enthusiastic. I am positive, and if that's what you want from yourself, it's a great opportunity just to surround yourself with it, isn't it? I bet to do that. I do get bits of negativity. I'm not going to go on about it, but there's little things that have sort of thrown my way, and people question this and try to make something appear differently from what it is. But at the end of the day, you just have to get by it, and quickly done that. I quickly do that, and surround myself with people that actually sort of enjoy being happy and content. Because again, if we're not feeling fantastic, it's really, really important to surround ourselves with that positivity. I know I'm just kind of going over what I said, but the first thing we have to do is kind of look at ourselves. And one thing I always say through DOdaily, and one thing I have to remind myself constantly, is if something's annoying me or distracting me or is not very kind, it's just to completely remove it, completely ignore it. It's not easy, especially if it's other people and they're persistent in what they're doing and it's making it difficult. But what you have to do is just remove yourself from negative situations. It's not easy, it's difficult, it can be stressful, but the more you do it, the more you program yourself to think, I'm going to be happy. It's definitely the way forward. It's not a straightforward journey. You trip up along the way, you trip yourself up, people trip you up, but it's important just to keep at it. And that's all I'm kind of trying to do. I'm just trying to be somebody who shows positivity and shows that it's worthwhile persevering, because it's definitely been a journey. It's not been an overnight thing. Even before DOdaily, there was a good 4 or 5 years of working at it, off camera. And then it comes to pushing myself out my comfort zone. All of a sudden, you meet resistance from different areas, from different things, from different people, but you have to push through that as well. And again, just by talking, by communicating, by checking in every day, it's important. And by having these lines of communication. Patrick, your positivity shines through, mate. Thanks for the question. Thanks for the comment, saying keep it open. Thanks for the encouragement. Again, as much as I try to encourage, it's always brilliant to get encouragement. I'm not going to lie to you. These comments are nice. But why can we not be nice? Whatever I do, I try to support people. And it's great when people support me too. Just along those lines, if you're not feeling fantastic, or if you are, or if you're taking something from DOdaily, or if you've got a question you'd rather not put a name to, please email me at any time, des@dorunning.org.uk. I try and get back to everybody. I do get back to everybody eventually, but of course, things are hectic. That's no excuse. I love it when people get in touch because, again, it just shows that they're taking from it. It shows that somewhere, somehow, even though it's not the most watched YouTube channel in the world, even though it's got just a handful of viewers at times, somebody somewhere, believes in this, believes in me, and believes in themselves. Because one thing I mentioned last week was, if you're not feeling fantastic, the first thing is to take some action. And if you're taking action, it's generally a positive step. If you're just being reactive and getting drawn back into things, you're not going to make things any better. Sometimes it takes looking in the mirror, realizing what part you can play in things and taking it forward. And hopefully with that encouragement, people can get involved as and when they feel necessary. And again, with that email being there, with it being sort of an open inbox and me encouraging people to use it, I just think that they can reach out if they want to. Got 1 or 2 emails to reply to still, but again, it's the best part of what I do in a sort of adverse sort of way, a perverse sort of way. Through adversity, people feel the need to get in touch, and then that just shows that I'm helping one person. My aim with this was only ever to help one person, and thankfully, a few people take something from it along the way, and that's what's the most important thing. That throwback question this week: what's your favourite thing about the area you live in? Of course, it's Notts Day. I think a couple of weeks ago it was Yorkshire Day. I saw that somewhere. Wherever you are in the world, wherever you're from, maybe you've moved and you sort of look back at when you lived at home, or there's somewhere you lived and you enjoyed. Tell me what you enjoy. Again, there's no wrong answers in all this. It's just a way to get involved. It's a way to support the channel. All the comments, all the likes and all the subscriptions support what I'm trying to do. And whether I get it right or wrong, I have my good days, I have my bad days. Sometimes I don't explain myself particularly well. I go down rabbit holes and talk about something completely different to what I intended to. Again, it's just real and realistic, isn't it? And hopefully it's useful to somebody somewhere. And that's all I'm trying to be. So I'm sure your comments, just like the comments I got there about the Robin Hood and content, I'm sure your comments might just inspire somebody to take something from where they are or what they're doing. You might say, I'd take this from an area, and then people might go, oh, my life's not so bad. Because that's all I tend to do sometimes. Get fed up sometimes that, oh, I wish I could have an amazing YouTube channel. But then 2 or 3 people say nice things and the world's a better place all of a sudden. And that's all it takes. If you're looking for the small wins rather than the big targets and the euphoric moments, believe me, you get more of those along the way. And I think that's a good place to end, really, guys. Really enjoyed the show tonight. Really enjoyed the feedback. Once again, if you can, I've done this like all night and I'm going to point and I can't remember which side it is. Yes, I got it right. Please subscribe. It's always different on the camera. And of course, follow the social media links there. And those that have been scrolling across the bottom, ask me your questions. Answer that throwback question. It will take you 2 seconds to do all of that. If you're watching after the show, please drop something in the comments, any of the videos throughout the week. Look me up. Look my personal accounts up on social media as well. Always happy to follow people. Always happy to answer questions, say hello, and potentially meet up. If people need that kind of support, that's all I'm trying to be here. Just somebody who can be of use to somebody somewhere. So thanks for tonight. It's been brilliant. Just a quick comment. He's got the ball rolling. Fantastic, Eve. This is exactly what I'm looking for. Got it spot on tonight. My favourite thing about where I live is there's 2 beaches close by. Absolutely brilliant that is, isn't it? I wish I had 2 beaches. I do love the beach. Of course, I've got the river, I've got the embankment, I've got the sport, but I've not got 2 beaches. So there's always something to sort of be positive about, isn't there? And that's what I'm saying. So thanks for that, Eve. Thanks for setting the example. Thanks for showing people. how easy it is just to drop a comment and get behind the channel. It's been brilliant as ever. I'll be back first thing in the morning I'll be back tomorrow evening with an episode that's been filmed first thing in the morning. I'll be out doing my walking, summing the week up, letting you know how it's been, using the benefits of attacking the day and explaining them, how they're working for me this week to look forward to the weekend. Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for tuning in. Again, just quickly press that like button and make sure you subscribe. Let's get up to 800 before the end of the year. Just doing it.